Unified Championship Radio.
Welcome, everyone, to Ringside Rumble Radio here on the UCR Network, powered by Spreaker.com, and free, as always, on iTunes. Remember to like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/UCR Network. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at UCR Network. And if you want to tweet to us, use the hashtags UCR Network or RRR. I'm the Loganator, alongside my good friend, the Ant-Man, Anthony Rivera. And what a night.
What?
What?
I don't even think I can hear myself right now because in all of my 3 years of doing radio, I think I just blew my ears out with that intro.
With the music? Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was a miscue.
It was a little loud.
A little loud. Just got to turn down that pot just a little bit. Hey man, how's it going?
Not bad. How's your week so far?
It's going well. I mean, we've been working a lot, so we haven't really been posting so much on Facebook or Twitter. Mm-hmm. But a lot of stuff has or maybe has not been going on in the WWE. They give you the crap that was WWE Fastlane. They invigorate you with the Monday Night Raw last week. And then we come around back to Raw again, and it's right back to where we started.
It seems like once they get the ball moving, they just kind of they drop it and do a double dribble, or they get fouled and they can't have the continuously movement of the game we call wrestling and Monday Night Raw. It was kind of dead, kind of low key, I feel. I mean, the one highlight was, of course, you had Triple H and Dean Ambrose talking about the World Heavyweight title, and that's set up for the WWE Network special Roadblock. So appears that Triple H will be defending his championship against Dean Ambrose at Roadblock, which I believe it is in Toronto, I think, next week. I'm pretty sure on that one.
Yes, it is. And I will be in Montreal that weekend, so
question for you. Since you'll be in Montreal, will you be watching it in French Canadian then?
Oh, oui.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, isn't it funny how the WWE is supposed to be building Roman Reigns as this super face, and the guy that's been getting all the build since the Royal Rumble has been Dean Ambrose.
But not Ambrose. Roman Reigns, he hasn't been around. He has like his nose. Is it a work? Is it real that he really did break his nose? I mean,
well, he's out due to the injury that he sustained at the hands of Triple H last week, and Triple H did a great job in his promo of trying to sell himself as the villain. But I mean, at the end of the day, when you're in front of over 100,000 people at WrestleMania and Roman Reigns has the title in his hands, I highly doubt that he will be cheered that well.
No. I think if he wins at WrestleMania, which seems to be the case, the direction they want to take it, he will probably be booed. If he's at the Monday Night Raw the night after, I'm sure he'll be booed. And it will just, the fans have spoken. They know what they want already. And there's talks now on the internet. I was seeing reports saying that WWE wants to have Roman Reigns headline multiple WrestleManias. Multiple. You've had him headline last year, and he was booed. You're going to have him do this year as a face. Guarantee he's going to be booed. Maybe you need to go back to the drawing board and turn him what we call in the business heel.
But when they were pretty discreet on what they meant by that. I mean, does it mean he's going to be champion the whole time? Does it mean he's going to be a face? Does it mean he's going to be a heel? We don't know where they're going with it. We like to think we know because of the product they put in front of us, but we don't know where they're really going to go. I mean, I can see Roman Reigns is a main event figure. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. It's just the way they're using him is the problem. The way they're trying to push him to the fans is a problem. They're not even doing it correctly.
Well, I think he needs to be repackaged. We've talked about this numerous times. Maybe get him a new attire, new entrance music. Maybe give him a new move other than the Superman punch. I can talk about this every week, but I think everybody else is on the same page. When you read tweets, when you read comments left on these wrestling boards, nobody seems to he's not believable. He's not believable as a true champion or as a wrestler because you have him just throwing these Superman punches, doing a few moves, almost like a John Cena. But
well, look what happened at Fastlane. He gets beaten with a chair, and 2 seconds later he gets up and spears Dean Ambrose, and the match is over.
Mm-hmm. It's not
after taking chair shots and dirty deeds.
It doesn't make it very believable. I mean,
This I believe for a Brock Lesnar type figure because he's a beast.
Of course. But what's even happening with him now that you have Dean Ambrose and Triple H taking on each other at this Roadblock so-called WWE special pay-per-view? There's talks now that they're going to have him go against one of the Wyatt family. That angle was done up around WrestleMania. They should have been capitalizing on this beforehand. Now it seems like, let's go back to another storyline that we forgot to tell you about, and we'll bring it right back, and he's going to take on one of the Wyatt family members at Roadblock.
As long as Ambrose faces Lesnar at WrestleMania, you can do whatever you want at Roadblock. But I thought of, what if Ambrose wins the title? And you have Ambrose and Lesnar for the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania. That, to me, would be more of a main event than to have Roman Reigns against Triple H. To me, that's probably the third match, the third main event of the entire pay-per-view or event.
If they did that, it'll make WrestleMania worthwhile to
I'm calling it right now that Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar will, hands down, be the match of the night, the match that we're all talking about on Monday after WrestleMania.
And I've also heard rumors about the IC title, how they want to have it another type battle royal gimmick type match. They did that last year. Let's do something totally different.
They got to stop this thing where they think they have to fit every single wrestler onto WrestleMania. You don't have to do that. That's earned. You earned that spot to be on WrestleMania.
You tell them.
You don't need to. You're already having the Battle Royal. That's where everyone comes in. You don't need to have, okay, if you want to throw Money in the Bank in there, fine. You could throw Money in the Bank in there. Mm-hmm. That's okay. But these title matches, they don't always have to be a triple threat or a fatal four-way or a five-man match, six-man. You don't need to do that. You know what that does? That takes away emphasis from the champion. And it doesn't allow a storyline to build. Look what they did with the Intercontinental Championship last year. They didn't really allow that story to build. They had this guy steal the belt from this guy. They had this guy walk out and run and steal the belt from this. There was no storytelling, and that's what's missing. Real storytelling.
Well, unfortunately, WWE hasn't gotten your memo. Must have gotten lost in the mail somewhere.
Some of the greatest matches that ever happened at WrestleMania were not only the matches itself, but the storytelling that led up to the matches. Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, the Iron Man match. That was storytelling. Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mm-hmm. Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair, the retirement match. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels the first time where they did light versus dark. Storytelling.
Even when you had the Undertaker go up against Stone Cold for that first blood match back at Fully Loaded, and remember in '99 when they did that? That was all storytelling. You had Vince. He was supposed to be the good guy. Then he turned out to be the evil leader of the corporate ministry, and Stephanie being abducted. Yeah.
Rock Austin. These are storytelling type matches. And that's what I think that you fail to do when you have so many people competing in one match. When you have the Battle Royal, that's when you put all these people in there. Or at the Royal Rumble, that's when you can have all these superstars. That's when you showcase all your superstars at the Royal Rumble. Don't throw in Michael Cole or Booker T. Don't throw those guys in if they're not wrestling anymore.
No.
They're going to be in for 2 seconds and you're going to throw them out. And those are guys you know that are not going to win. When you have the Royal Rumble have a feel like, man, any of these guys have a chance to win, that's when you have gold.
So you don't want to see the boogeyman coming to the Royal Rumble next year?
I mean, you can have one of those cheap pops for one of those guys, but
you don't want to do that though if you're doing.
Don't throw Michael Cole in there.
You don't want to do that if you're doing Anthony's little buy-in to see who wins the Royal Rumble pot over here.
No, because I lasted all but maybe 10 seconds between three of my guys.
Who are your guys again, real quick?
I think I had Mark Henry or Jack Swagger, and I think I had Kofi Kingston or one of them that just got tossed real quick, Goldust or something. It didn't last too long.
Well, somebody who seems like he has been lasting a long time made his return to a ring last night, and that was The Undertaker. It was on Monday Night Raw. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, he came back. Vince cut his usual promo. I think we've seen it so many times about how Vince is going to do this, and I bring you The Undertaker. And then The Undertaker comes down, and then Vince starts talking about how he loves him so enough to teach him Shane McMahon a lesson, so he's putting him in this match in the Hell in the Cell. Then Undertaker comes down and puts his hand around him and said, basically, your son's blood is going to be on your hands, pretty much, is what he said. So, the typical promo that we've seen how many times now, I think? A good, maybe 20?
I mean, you set it up this week where you had Shane McMahon come on Raw to maybe the biggest pop since Daniel Bryan left the Wyatt family on that Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
You set it up this week where The Undertaker returns, you do all the promos, you do, everything for him to come back. And before I could sit down, The Undertaker's gone. One line and he's done.
Well, that's usually how it is now with The Undertaker. We see the smoke and the dark lightning and the whole arena goes dark. And then you'll see him on the Titantron a few times. He'll make a small little pop and show up on a Monday Night Raw for like 2 seconds, which we saw the other night on Monday night. And then leading up to it, you finally have the finale when he finally confronts whoever he's taking on, and they do a little bit of a brawl, maybe a brawl in the back, what he did with Brock Lesnar, maybe a brawl in the ring, and then time for WrestleMania.
It's just hard for me to understand The Undertaker's part in this storyline. Yes, I understand Vince McMahon wants him to teach Shane a lesson, but there's no backfire from The Undertaker. He's not, questioning this or, you don't tell me what to do, I'll fight whenever I want to fight type ordeal. Mm-hmm. It's just, I get it. Your son's blood is on your hands. I get that part, but I just, no resistance?
No. And he was just in a whole feud with the Wyatt family a little bit back, and Kane and him took them on in a tag team match, and that kind of was just after that, what goes on from here? He just vanishes, and that's the end of that. And we don't see him up till about March 1st, or when the time for the road to WrestleMania occurs. Almost every single year this happens. You don't see him, you don't hear from him, and then all of a sudden, poof, cloud of smoke.
there's no doubt that Undertaker versus Shane McMahon is going to be a highlight fest at WrestleMania. But they're really going to have to ramp up this storyline. What does Shane have against Vince? That we don't know.